Oh, is Katy Perry CIA, dude?
Apparently.
How
Or
so?
like, I think it has to do with like her family. Like most of the people, I don't know the specifics, but I know in a tinfoil hat, whenever they mention Katy Perry, he trips out. But she also does like a lot of esoteric shit, and her rise was like meteoric. Like she came out of nowhere. Like a lot of these people aren't found; they're made.
Oh, right.
And so Katy Perry, like if you watch her Super Bowl fucking performance, I don't remember if it was the last one or 2 years ago. I think it's the one with the left shark that has become like the most famous thing ever because it like fucked up and didn't know what it was doing. I wonder if that has esoteric meanings to it, but the way she came in was like it was the story of Lucifer, right? So like she came in like a falling star basically. I think she might have even had like titty sparkles, like all this stuff. I don't remember. I didn't even really watch most of it. I would just watch clips of people describing like the esoteric parts, and that's symbolizing Satan's fall from heaven, and he's like the light bringer. And if you just go through like step by step, like the different people that she had dancing in the background, it all was like basically the story of Lucifer, and she was she was the symbol of Lucifer for it, right? So it's like really satanic, and which is kind of like a theme that goes along with this weird CIA elite kind of stuff.
Right,
it's all
right.
in that grab bag.
They fucking implant those images into our media and shit.
Yeah.
Like have you heard of people saying like, you know, the Jay-Z, the Hove, the
Oh,
triangle?
yeah.
Like that's an Illuminati symbol right there.
Oh, dude.
And even DMX, like, I don't know if you remember, but DMX, like during his supposed crack addiction or whatever, he was like going on interviews and he was like, listen, all these fucking people are devil worshippers. Fucking Jay-Z.
Oh, no
like
way.
Beyonce, all these people are fucking devil worshippers. And then that's when the crack addiction stories started breaking.
Oh,
and it makes me wonder if like that's what happened
dude,
to DMX.
he always seemed
dog.
like one of the realest fools.
Right.
Wait,
yeah.
was he in Belly or was that?
That was DMX.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
dude.
him and Nas, bro.
Dude, I was like, he wasn't even acting. He's just like, this is real life.
Yeah, that was
However
fucking.
you want it.
Any way you want it.
Dude, I was on a quest to find that song, and I found out it was like a remix of like a 92.5 song.
Dude, I went on that same quest. And yeah.
Dude, whoever chopped that up though, like isolated the vocals and like slowed it down, and I was like, dude, you just made an epic thing out of like just what would have been on like maybe your grandma's radio.
Dude. Fuck yeah. Like, dude, it's just so chilling. Just those vocals, man.
Yeah.
But it works
And
so
the
well.
timing, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Everything about that movie, dude, there's some fucking, like, it was slow paced and, like, the dead pauses and just, like, the panning showing you the whole room. I loved it. Like, it's probably in the cinematic world thought of, like, as a giant piece of shit, but I fucking love that movie, dude. Like, compared to Friday or something like that, which is, like, the cheesiest, which I still like, dude. But
Yeah, Friday's dope.
yeah, but it's like a little kid version of of a gangsta movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I never hear Belly talked about other than in like rap songs on like maybe radio hosts.
Yeah, dude, I don't think I even ever hear it get talked about, to be honest. But that's a fucking classic one, man.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, dude, Nas is in it.
Yeah.
But
He like disappeared for a long ass time and came back. I love that Nas and Damian Marley, that whole CD was so sick.
oh shit, yeah, that was a good one, man. Fucking, I love this track, Patience. That's a good track.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, man. How long has it been since that shit came out, man? It's probably been like 10 years or
Dude,
something.
I think it came out like 2008 or 2007.
Let's see.
Dude, Joey
See what the
Diaz,
internet
dude, I
says.
ain't know Joey Diaz. He'll pull up shit. He'll be like, "Oh, that movie came out in 1974, and the actor he missed that scene because he was sick." And it's like, what? And they'll pull it up on Google and they're like, "Yeah, he was right." It's like, dude, how the fuck with all the blow and shit, and you're like 60 years old.
Yeah, how the fuck
you
did
just ate
remember
like
that?
1,000 mgs worth of edibles, like.
Dude.
I want to be. That's like my fucking goal. Be get some fucking. They need to get some a sample of his blood, dude.
Yeah, clone this fool.
Yeah, like he could survive like the nuclear holocaust, dog. Like it would just do lines of fucking bleach and survive.
Yeah, we need to get his blood, dude. Ozzy Osbourne's blood.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
Like fuck all these like perfect athletes. It's like okay, yeah, they were training their whole life. Like what? Joey Diaz has been training too, dog. Yeah. He's been in the trenches.
Yeah. Could you imagine if, like, at the beginning of his birth, like, the fucking CIA realized his potential and was like, we're gonna make you the...
Like Wolverine?
Fuck, yeah.
Like type of thing.
We're gonna fucking put metal, fucking adamantium and shit in your body.
Adamantium white blood cells, dude.
You're gonna be immune to coke.
Yeah. They're like, oh, that fucking stripper AIDS. Yeah, we just fucking backhanded that out. Nah, none of that. We ain't playing that in here. Or maybe it's just Cuban blood.
Cuban blood?
Yeah, he survived like the thinning of the herds.
Yeah, yeah.
And only the strongest of the strongest made it out or something. I don't know.
Right, that's a decent theory though. Like, you know.
Some Darwinism.
Some straight, just to apply Darwinism to it. Yeah. And that's what you get, man.
Ooh, I've heard of some interesting Darwin conspiracies. But dude, I can see like evolution kind of play out, it seems. But the way they were explaining it was pretty decent. I only listened to it for like 3 or 4 minutes, but I was like, what in the fuck? I didn't even know there were people arguing against this other than like creationists. But there's other people coming at it from like a scientific...
Oh, they're trying to... So they're saying... Well, okay, I could see...
There's like another mechanism other than evolution that could I think they were complaining about the randomness.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, I don't think it's like randomness as in like chaos theory randomness. Like, it looks random, but it's...
Yeah,
like there's an organized...
Well, what you're taught about it in evolutionary biology and like molecular biology and all that, and what the evolution... says is essentially, mutations and randomness, just chaotic shit is happening all the time. So there's people who are born with mutations that, cause them illness and they die. So that mutation doesn't live on. So essentially there's bad and good mutations are happening all the time. And it could be from other things like a cosmic ray. There's theories that cosmic rays are what allowed humans to like get through certain eras, like
that was like
intellectual humps,
mutation burst or something, like,
right? Because
to get over a plateau.
Yeah, because like somehow the cosmic ray hitting our atmosphere fucked with our brain and allowed us to move. I think forward.
I've heard something about that. Like it's like almost like fucking all the superhero stories where it's like, yo, I got exposed to radiation and it gave me access to these powers, but it'd be more of like it was a catalyst to our evolution. Because I guess if evolution is powered by mutations, like the more mutations, as long as you have a big enough population to withstand, I guess, the thinning from negative mutations.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like that would be the optimizing your evolutionary speed. But I guess it's like your direction could change instantly. Like if your climate changes and you don't have technology, but I guess that's where we're not really affected by that anymore. Like we've gotten to the level where we can create things that have bend evolutionary law almost.
For sure, yeah. So yeah, exactly. So you have negative and good mutations, and the whole theory is, because of just the strongest survive isn't like a Darwinist theory. It applies to everything. Like only the galaxies that formed correctly are still around.
Yeah.
You don't see galaxies that didn't form correctly because they were poorly formed.
Yeah.
So the strongest galaxies are still around. It's just a theory that applies to all of the universe. So we just, sometimes just even luck maybe. Like we just got lucky. Like what if the first, Homo sapien to get born got hit by a rock and died? Like could we not exist today if that happened? Who knows? But yeah, for sure.
Or if the Anunnaki didn't take us underground, or the ant people to save us from the flood.
Well, so I was gonna say back onto what you were saying about like other scientific theories other than evolution. So you said it's obviously creationism.
Yeah.
And then there's also like the alien stuff. Like the aliens came and planted us here.
Oh,
or whatever. Right.
Yeah,
so that's
like
second
a managed like evolution.
And then so like what are some of the third would be like what are some of the scientific theories you've heard?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like that's why I almost feel bad for bringing it up
it's interesting.
Yeah, that's something I should write down so we could go back at it.
I'm down.
It was enough to the point where I was like, oh, I kind of listen to this again, because usually it's like, is this too crazy? And I'm like, oh, but you know, they have documentaries on History Channel where if you just stumble onto it, like they're actually mockumentaries or whatever, like the mermaid one.
Oh, so, like, I've sort of heard about that,
dude. I missed the beginning, and like I stumbled into it like partially through. So the way they played out, they make it look like a real documentary.
Okay.
And they'll have like scientists will be like, oh, this dude from this university, and he'll be like, yeah, like aquatic ape theory is a theory that humans came from the water, and like and he'll say like all these things like, why are we hairless, and like why do we need salt as much as we do, and why can humans swim naturally at birth, which is like some really kind of trippy things that just that like, but then he strings like 3 pieces of a necklace together, and then he's like, now look at this full suit, and it's like, nah, dude, you don't even have the necklace done. And but then but if you just stumble in there, you're like, what is this shit? But then they'll show like a cell phone footage. They'll be like, oh, and then these kids saw this like hurt mermaid, and then it's just like the worst CG you've ever seen in your life. And then you're like, all right, I gotta Google this, and it's fake, just like Repo Wars or whatever.
Fake. Yeah, that was just so depressing when
that convinced me too, sadly. But then once you know it's fake, you just look at it and you're like, how the fuck did I not know it was fake? Like,
right. Well, and you know what? Something interesting too. I have a family member who was dating someone in the film industry, Hollywood or whatever, and they were helping produce reality shows. And one of the shows they were on was, I think it was Deadliest Catch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if not that one, then like whatever the next biggest knockoff of that show was. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it was Deadliest Catch, and they were on the show helping produce for like 3 months or whatever. They're on this whatever. And so I was talking to him, and I was like, so, okay, I gotta ask you, dude, like, is that shit fake? You know? Because it's a dope show. I like watching Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I was like, is that shit fake? And he was like, well, nah, man, like, you know, that stuff happens. But, like, sometimes stuff happens, and we didn't get it on camera, so we make them do it again for us on camera. And I was like, oh, that's kind of whack. But
I think they stir up the interpersonal drama too, between like the boat captains and stuff, to make it like, oh yeah, these guys are mad at these guys, when it's like, dude, you know that there's actually like 400 other ships out there, and you're making it seem like these 4 dudes are like the only 4 out here fighting over a patch of like ocean. It's like, dog, this is a massive it's just like we're all out here rolling dice, and our dice aren't hitting each other or anything. Like we don't affect each other really.
Yeah, like they play up like the
rivalry.
The rivalries.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, dude, what about the other 300 and something ships that are out here? You only like playing up these 4.
Right. They make it seem like it's like a closed world.
Yeah.
Or whatever. For sure. And you know what else, dude? I was going to bring this up earlier before we were even recording. We're on the subject, and I was going to say, like, a lot of people who go on reality shows and game shows and shit are actually just, like, I don't want to use the word wannabe in the wrong word, but wannabe actors.
Oh,
like,
I heard
they're
this.
Up and coming, trying to become actors.
And that's like a reason for them to get screen time. And you know what? There's a lot of people who actually who made it that way. And not only actors, even fucking comedians, like Theo Vaughn, one of my kind of favorite comedians. He was on like The Real World or some shit, and you'd be like,
wow,
this dude was on the fucking Real World? I almost want to watch it now to see like how the fuck.
Right. Like, how the fuck was he real on the show, or was he like, yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, what's it called? Airlock your fucking identity, or what's it? You need to have an air gap.
Yeah.
Like the CIA would do. But no, even if you have a shitty name, like if it just doesn't roll off the tongue well, or if your last name is like 30 syllables and no one's gonna be able to Google it, or like no one's gonna be able to remember it, Like I think Jon Stewart, his name, but people always hate him for this because he had to like a more like Jewish sounding, like something Stein or like Goldstein or something.
For sure.
So he wanted to go with something that would be like not. It would be like asexual, I guess, or like for religious wise.
Yeah.
So that he could go on that show.
Secular.
Yeah, secular. So a lot of people were hating on him, like, dude, you're not a real Jew because like you pulled this, like,
no way,
like, you're ashamed of your stuff.
I never heard this before.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, dude, like I didn't even think of it that way, but it was more of like a business move for him. It wasn't like he's not telling people he's like Christian or anything and like being closeted in that way.
Right.
But like I could see both sides on that one. I was like, oh shit. Like, especially when the people are like, oh, I'm like a 6-year-old little Goldstein and I want to be on TV one day. I don't see any other Goldstein hosts or whatever. But it's like, if you read the credits, you'll probably see like all types of last names up in there.
Yeah. The real question is, if he had not changed his name and had he kept it Steinberg or Goldstein, would he have gotten the job? And would he have be still been as popular and as famous?
And there's a ton of examples like that with other famous people, like I don't know if Elvis or something, but they just had like terrible real names.
Right. Yeah, Elvis's real name is just he sounds like he just joined the army of boot camp, like I'm Ellis Robert Jackson or something like that. Yeah. But no, I mean, dude, I totally get that. Like,
so the issue of the hour.
Yeah, now in HD.
Month. Yeah. So we've had the first marijuana-related deaths potentially occur, but in the news it's been all like vape, just generalizations, which is really weird because when it comes to marijuana, they used to love to jump on it. Like, remember the face-eating zombie guy?
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, he had bath salts, but he also had marijuana in his system, so it could have been either one that made him eat the dude's face off. And I'm like, it could have been underlying schizophrenia as well that could have been kind of provoked or something. Like, I'm not a psychologist, but sounds like that could be in the possibilities. But yeah, so this marijuana related deaths have been pretty all from black market THC cartridges.
Okay.
Mainly from ones that have the name Dank Vapes or something, or I think it's Dank Vapes.
Dank Vapes. Yeah.
And so you can buy them on eBay, and I even test bought like empty cartridges to see if they look legit, and it's just like the brown paper cardboard ones. And you can stick like any generic cartridge in there, right? So like people are filling it with
the batteries
no the cardboard for like the housing. So like when you go into like a medi shop or a dispensary, they'll have like nice brand name. So like Dank Vapes will be on there.
Oh, the display,
the display packaging.
Okay,
right?
Cool, gotcha.
And so have like their marketing on there, and it looks legit. They're kind of small. It's not as nice as like heavy hitters or something like that, where they have like nice plastic case, but those are being copied now too. But those you can tell really easily. These Dank Vapes, I don't even think they have a legit background. I think they just were invented by like a knockoff company, and they started making them for black market basically.
Right.
And normally you'd think you'd have to go all the way to the dark web or something to find stuff like this, but you can just go on eBay, which is like anyone can go on eBay. Yeah, and they're selling for ridiculously cheap. Like sometimes they're like 50 cents a package.
And eBay's not regulating this.
No, and which is crazy because they've cracked down hard on other things before, like with CBD and all different mentions of it. They found like every possible keyword, so it's almost pretty much impossible to find anything CBD or even like CBD related or even hemp products with no CBD.
And they update those fucking algorithms on the daily, dude.
But they let that slide for a bit. Like they let that go for like 6 months, and all of a sudden overnight, like CBD was gone off of eBay. But they could do that to these fake packaging just like they did it to that.
Yeah.
And the packaging is like not even like they're 50 cents a package or like $1 a package when you buy like a 50 pack of them, and then they have them all the way up to like 2,000, 10,000, 20,000
Jesus.
On Alibaba, which is
Alibaba.
Where most people from eBay buy their stuff and resell it. But Like,
but you can, dude. You at least back in the day, you could buy hella drugs on Alibaba, dude. If you found the right source.
Yeah, really? Oh, yeah. They're still selling CBDs on there, but it's like,
oh, really?
I don't know if I trust their third-party testing.
Dude, nah, because
like,
it's all like Chinese or Indian knockoff garbage, full of like if you even get something, it's gonna either be shit now or like full of impurities.
And the price always looks good, and then they'll be like, the shipping is like this, or you had to buy like 20,000 units, and it's like, what, dude?
Oh yeah.
Like, I just want some like glass containers. They're like, yeah, dude, there'll be like 5 cents each instead of $1, but you need to buy 20,000, and like, dude, I can't store that.
Right.
It's like, I can't have a shipping container at my house, bro. Like, come on.
Of just a shipping container of just dank vapes.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude! I wonder if someone bought that many and sold them on the black market, because that would have been insane profits. Because in the Medi shops, to get a full gram size, it'd be anywhere from like $96 after tax to even more than that. But
right.
Some of the cheaper places will have it around 60.
Right.
And then if you go to like an illegal shop where they have they don't charge tax or anything like that, which I don't know if they have anymore, because I saw a few closed ones, but my friend used to go to them a lot, and he says they're like $40, right? So I wonder if they have dank vapes up in there too,
right?
Because like they made it so regulated to the point where every batch is numbered. So like if you need to buy something from a real company, like before you could go to like the owner of one of these companies and get a few like on the side or whatever, like pay them cash if you knew them. But now like if you want to get an edible from an edible company, you could it's not worth the risk, because they have to label every batch. It's like insane. It's like they're like producing, I don't know what else is regulated that hard.
What? Yeah. That's fucking nuts.
Like, so every batch of their stuff has a batch number, and it's like all has to be sent in and all like hyper regulated.
I mean, I have seen on the flowers that I've got at the clubs, like on the back, it's like, yeah, there's like numbers and a barcode and like all the shit, you know.
But that's how you know it's legit, though, because it's so expensive to get it to that point. Like, you have to test each thing, and each thing has to test negative for mold, and that's why, like, there's basically all those products people on the black market used to either like sell for a little bit cheaper or like make into edibles or something like that. But now the edible market, I don't know if there is much on the black market, but
yeah, like
that's the easiest way to hide moldy weed is you put it into an edible, or you put it in, make hash or something out of it.
Oh, okay.
But the mold is dangerous in itself, but the even more dangerous thing is the fungicide they use to treat the mold. And that, when heated, turns into arsenic. So they're getting like moldy ass weed and treating it with this fungicide as like trying to last minute save it, and then but they're probably getting it for free now. Like before, they used to probably be able to siphon it off, but now like, dude, illegal operations are probably just throwing away moldy weed or like giving it to someone or
on the side,
yeah. And then these guys are processing it like they would at a legit facility, like, oh, not like at a legit, without any cleanliness or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they're producing what looks just like real stuff, but I've tried one before, and like they taste like weird. I tried one in Mexico before too, and like people are making them like homemade in Mexico, and it was like way darker. But I've seen like images of the ones on the news articles, and they look like golden and stuff too. Like
pretty natural.
Pretty natural, yeah.
But okay, so I think, so aren't the carts though almost pure THC?
But it's the way that they process it. Any molecules that are smaller, so it's this fungicide is even smaller. So
so it gets through that process.
It gets through that process, yeah.
Oh shit, man.
So I think they're using either distillate or CO2. They're probably doing whatever one's cheaper. Probably distillate. I don't know. I don't know much about the process of making it. Before, I knew how people used to try and make it. They used to try and mix it with the same stuff you use for tobacco vapes. So like propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin, and they use different percent mixes. And you can suspend THC in either one of those things. But it just will gunk up like the atomizers and stuff. So I don't know how they made the new ones work. Because before, they just used to not work past like 2 or 3 puffs, and there'd be no terpenes or anything transferred over because of the heat.
Right. Oh, I know. That's why I stopped using the pens.
Yeah,
man.
But if you get a good one, oh my god.
I mean, yeah, I've hit good ones for sure. Like, and you're right. If you spend the money, and get a nice good cart.
Like Curvana or something, or Curvana. Oh my god, theirs are so expensive. I don't even think they do full grams, but they have half gram ones. And like just hitting a little bit gave me a crazy anxiety attack because of the high THC, dude. Like, and it tasted so good.
Okay.
And like just one little puff or two puffs of that, and you're fucking golden. But they charge it $50 for a half gram one, and that doesn't really last long if you, like, especially your tolerance builds up quick if you use it often. So I'll just leave that by bed and just use it as like a one hit before bed type of thing, and it's like the greatest. Like if I could afford it, dude. Oh my god.
It's like, did you get like a pure indica one?
Yeah, just like, dude. Or even a sativa one, like a sativa one, because it would just make your like brain stop thinking about. It's like when you're trying to sleep, you always get to the point where you're like, oh, what about this work that I have to do, or oh, what if I edit this real quick and post it, or I forgot to do this, or I need to go check on the door. Did I lock the door, and all this stupid shit that doesn't even matter? And then you just hit that sativa, don't even think about. But then you have that short window to pass out, like 30 minutes.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And you have to kind of like zen into it, and it's almost like, I don't know. It's weird. I could use sativas for sleep or to wake up, but indica is way better if you want to sleep good, because you might wake up in like 30 minutes after a little nap from that sativa and be like, all right, I'm hella hungry.
I don't know, man. The sativas are good for knocking me out, but I wake up and I don't feel. I feel almost a little hungover. Yeah. Where the sativas, I don't feel hungover when I wake up.
Oh, you mean the ends or the indica or the sativa?
No. When I smoke the indica before bed, and I wake up, I feel a little hungover.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because as long as you stay, like as long as it's just enough to like get you to sleep quick, and then you stay asleep, the sativa wears off. It probably doesn't affect your like REMs as long and whatnot.
yeah, totally. I
totally see that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. So how do you know, like, what are we looking at numbers wise? How many people have been injured by this or are dead?
There's definitely now there's probably more, but I think at the time when I first started researching it was 3 dead, and like a bunch have been hospitalized and sent to the ER, and some made it out. But after the people who have made it out, they have severe lung damage and like limited lung capacity and shit like that.
I figure, if you smoking mold, dude, it's gonna fuck you up.
You know, I hold an interesting fucking perspective on it too, which is, but it doesn't explain why they've happened all of a sudden. But it's also like, this guy was like, you know, like the pack-a-day smoker versus like the dude who smokes a cig or 2 at the thing. Right. It's like, do we even have like a concept of what a large vapor is? Like, is it a pack a day or a pack or whatever? And it's like, I used to do like a vape pack or like a filled vape a day back in the day, but now this dude's telling me, he's like, nah, dude, there's people who do 6 jewel packs an hour, and I'm like, how the fuck? Yeah,
that's fucked.
Like, how the fuck? And like,
dude, you have to be Superman to do that.
Yeah, right.
Damn, dude.
And I'm like, how the fuck? Because that just blows my mind out of, like, the perspective out of there. So I'm like, dude, the people, like, even me, who I thought was at one point was like a heavy vapor, and sometimes I'd even fill my giant tank up like twice. Yeah. Especially if I was out somewhere or something.
I was on the tank a day for sure, for a while.
And then like, freaking, it's probably bigger than a jewel pod, but it wasn't that strong, at least, like the percentage of nicotine. But yeah. It's just crazy to think 6 pods in an hour, man. That's expensive too, probably.
Dude, that's a lot. Yeah, that is a lot of money. That's a fuckload of money. Yeah. I mean, that's almost an unbelievable amount of money if you do it, because it's like, okay, the pods that I have, mine's like a jewel knockoff. Yeah. My pods are, you have to buy them in 2 packs. It's $23. So let's just call it $11 a pack, because sometimes they're a couple bucks off or whatever. So $11 a pod. And for dude,
it'd be almost $70 an hour.
An hour, yeah.
Shit.
I mean, holy shit, dude.
Like, that's insane, dude.
I wow. I mean, we definitely went ham with shit when we were younger.
Yeah.
But I don't think we ever went ham on shit like that. Then again, dude, like I know people
with crazy tolerances too. Like I remember Phil that one day. I think Tim turned 18. Okay. He went out and bought like hella cigars for everybody, and we went to the park. And this is like I had already tried a cigar. I remember we hit that cigar that one time, and I fucking like crawled back into the house and like was so lightheaded I had to like pass out. But
you got just destroyed off that.
Yeah. But then so I'm like, dog, I ain't fucking with these cigars too hard. Like I'll fucking just baby sip one real quick. But Phil had one in between each of his fingers and was just like hitting them. They're all lit. And a cigarette, I think. He was just going absolutely ham.
Holy shit.
But he wouldn't like smoke them on the reg, but he could tolerate it. But it's weird because he couldn't tolerate hot water. Like going into the jacuzzi, it took him like he had to like ease into it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's funny. I had completely forgotten about that until you brought it up.
It's like this dude has his attributes in different slots. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, dude, this fucking modern culture we have. It's like a combination of the baby boomers, me, and then also this instant culture of like drive-through fast food. Give me fast internet. I want it now. Download this. Send that. Watch. Give me this. I want my fucking ice cream, or just now. I want it fucking now. And then the internet and modern commerce, you can just get as much of anything. You can buy anything, dude.
Yeah.
And if you go deep enough on the dark web and shit, you can buy a baby. Yeah. You can buy a human baby, okay, for enough money. Like, you can buy fucking anything.
If you go to the right hotel in New York, you can buy a baby too, bro.
Like, back in the day, if you wanted to be a crazy OCD, like 6 Juul pods a day, before Juuls existed and the internet existed and 7-Eleven existed, like, you'd just be at your house cleaning the carpet 25 times a day,
Yeah.
Some harmless shit.
Yeah, or like, I don't even know, fucking trapping 10 raccoons or something.
Yeah, be a hunter or something. Yeah. Or like fucking suburban raccoon hunter.
Yeah.
There you go. Dude. Yeah. But I mean, I feel the effects, dude. I'm like, I'll wake up and be like, give me my fucking vape. Where's my vape? Or if I misplace it and I lose it for like 25 minutes, I'm like, fucking this is bullshit.
12-hour flight. But I know people who will fucking hit it all the time. Like when I went to Morocco twice, I was hitting vapes hard, like before and after.
Yeah.
So like on the way there, I took nicotine gum, but like I'd never done it before, so I fucking took way too much and got hella sick, dude. Ooh. Such a bad idea, because like you're like, it takes a little longer to kick in, and it's like way different than like a fat vape hit, but it totally it's like does the job, dog. And then I took a freaking Klon.
Oh, that's at the same time?
Yeah, Klon and a couple of nicotine gum, right? And
you
so like
probably smashed.
Dog, I was chilling so hard. I slept. I watched movies. And I was like, this is the comfiest seat and coach. I was like, God damn, dude, I'm so relaxed, bro. I'm like, oh, food? Fuck, dude, this is the greatest flight. Hey, what's up, Nala? Do we get packages? All right. But yeah, that's how you fly right. But Joey Diaz, dude,
is how you fly right.
I think I took a little edible too for it. Yeah. Wow. I think I ate it. Yeah. But on the way back, it didn't have like
the nicotine gum probably fucked you up the most,
dude. By far,
I'm bet.
By far, dude. I could have done without it probably, or like done with like one piece. But I was like, I'm gonna chew one like every fucking 2 hours, and like after like two hours or 3, I was like, oh fuck, I'm sick, dude. Because it like builds up slowly, dude, and then it takes a while to get out. So I'm like drinking hella water, and like I'm like all white in my face.
It permeates your blood, dude, for hours.
I'm like, dog, I need to get this shit out of me. Oh.
Yeah, no, yeah. Fuck the long-term nicotine shit.
Yeah.
Or the patch.
But I mean, like, it's when you're up there, dude, you're like, this is the greatest, though, because you don't have, for 12 hours, you're like, all right, man, it's totally worth it.
Well,
but they only sell it in ridiculous packages, and it's crazy expensive. They'll be like,
it's like $50.
Dude, yeah, $50, and you'll have like 100 gums, and I'm like, dude, I don't fucking want 100.
Dude, the nicotine vape exploded because all they provided us was nicotine gum.
Yeah.
They were like, here, you can have smokes or nicotine gum. People were like, fuck that.
Dude, I guess the way that would work easily for is people that do fucking dip. It's like, okay, now I got sugar instead of tobacco.
Yeah.
Still not that great, but
maybe I shouldn't have called her out like that.
Someone, or you have a friend who's a flight attendant?
Yeah, maybe we'll edit that.
Yeah, you know.
I have a friend who's a flight attendant. And they were... Anyways, all right. They were on a flight, and there's a rapper on the flight.
Oh, shit.
And it was like... If I said the name, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of them," but I don't want to say the wrong one, and I know I won't remember it.
Like radio, new one.
Yeah, within the last 6 years, modern, somewhat popular.
Yeah.
And dude, he went into the fucking lavatory, not the bathroom, the lavatory, and he fucking smoked in there. And she was like, "Sir, you can't smoke in there." You know, she told me this story obviously after it happened, like a month after it happened. She's like, "So you can't smoke in there?" And he's like, "Oh, all right." And he just like fucking. Then he like smoked a little bit more, and then got out of the bathroom, and then that was like it. But I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Like, you just let him off the fucking plane, like no repercussions.
Dude,
this motherfucker didn't get a
privilege.
Fine. Yo, yeah. What the fuck? If that had happened to me, my ass would be.
They would have landed the plane. And hit you with a fucking $50,000 fine. I think it's at least $15,000, even if they don't land the plane. That shit is crazy. It's like, dude,
you'd have been done. Your life would have been done.
That is, and they didn't get arrested when they landed for like smoking the herb.
Nah, dude.
Like,
actually, you know what? I think they were smoking a cigarette. Actually.
Oh,
yeah.
That's even
well,
smellier,
she said
though.
Smoking. I didn't ask.
I was like, why didn't you vape, dog? Like, at least. I've like Joey Diaz. He's like, dude, I was just vaping my seat. I just fucking blow it in my sleeve, dog.
Yeah.
And he brings THC vapes, but he only flies domestic, so I guess it's less of a thing. But
I mean, dude, if you cover it up and it disappears so well that nobody it's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it really make a sound?
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
If nobody knows you did hit the vape, then does it really matter?
I had all the vapes on my fucking carry-on for all my flights, dude, but it's crazy what they look like, dude, because they all look like gun barrel pieces and stuff, you know? Like,
yeah.
Especially through an x-ray.
Some Blade Runner gun.
Yeah, every time I went through the fucking international x-rays, people would pull out my shit and be like, what the fuck is this? And this dude in dreads like, what is this? Is this some type of fucking... I don't even know. And I'm like, oh, it's a vape, dog.
Terminator dildo
or something.
Like,
yeah. And he's like, all right, a vape. And he's like, I'm gonna just and he calls another person over and they look at it for a second. They're like, oh, yeah, this is vape. And he's like, all right, I never heard of that shit. And I'm like, how have you never heard of a vape? Like, this is like deep into the vape days, dog. Are you new at the airport or something? Like,
are you a clone? Did they just let you out of the lab and you haven't seen a vape before? You fucking TSA clone.
They're testing out their fucking replacements already.
on the subject of the TSA real quick. I was telling you about Bill Burr's special from 2016 that I just saw, and he was like, if I was in the fucking Illuminati and I wanted to get rid of people, like, I'm not going to just go blow up a bunch of cities or whatever. You know, we got to get the population down. He's like, you know, get rid of like 4 or 5 billion people.
Nala. Shut up. Okay, damn it. Okay.
Dog ruined the bit. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, Bill Burr, and he's like, yeah, if I was in the Illuminati, you know, we got to get rid of like 5 billion people. There's too many fucking people, right? Mass extinction. He's like, here's how I do it. And he's like, there's like a round table of Illuminati guys talking, and one guy's like, all right, we're going to build these devices at the airport that slowly cook you with radiation. You got to put your hands up like this. And they go around you and they slowly cook you with radiation. And then we'll just keep turning up the heat and cooking them and cooking them. And then the lead Illuminati guy's like, that's fucking brilliant. I love it. I'm just like, dude, yeah, those fucking machines.
Dude.
You know, they used to be able to see your dick and your pussy and shit.
Yeah.
And they got sued or whatever. Now apparently
they released like 10,000 to the internet too. So it's
that's fucked. Are you serious?
Dude, of course that shit's gonna fucking happen. Man, those machines, the people who work next to them apparently have way higher rates of cancer.
Oh, really? The
TSE.
Those machines are spinning.
Yeah.
I totally believe that,
dude.
What the fuck is like? Are you serious, dude? Like,
speaking of like radiation and stuff in general, like the guest we're gonna have, like EMF radiation and cell phone radiation. Like one of the craziest things is the guys who work the power lines. I guess like the frequency or something of up near the power lines like fuck them up enough. It actually even makes them not be able to produce melatonin. So a lot of them have issues with like depression and stuff, and like their clock is off, so they have trouble sleeping and all this shit. And they have like one of the highest rates of suicide of any profession, which is pretty interesting because it's not like a veterinarian where you're like putting dogs down and shit, or like I don't know, some other like a cop where you're like accidentally shooting people. Where you think there might be more suicide, right?
Yeah.
You're like climbing power lines and do it like it's like, do plumbers have suicide? Because that's like the inverse of that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
I think plumbers make pretty good.
They make pretty good bank. Yeah, it's like one of the last decent jobs out there. And pipe fitters, dude. I have a friend who's a pipe fitter and he makes bank.
I bet, dude. I believe that.
Like industrial piping and stuff.
No, but I see what you're saying. Like, I mean, I believe it, dude. I mean, all that fucking shit, electricity flying through there, and now with like cell towers and stuff.
Yeah.
If you put your head in front of one, you're just getting blasted with that frequency. And a buddy of mine actually, we were talking about this, and he said like, dude, our generation, like we are kind of all the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
For whether this is gonna fucking destroy our brains and fry us and ruin the human race.
It's funny because our parents did like version 1.0 and then we just did it times 10. Like they did radio and microwave and very simple, not even that dangerous type of radiation, and we just kept it, scaled it up, and then increased the frequencies and increased the power and increased our exposure to it and increased like everything. Now we have fucking, your smart meter has like more radiation than most fucking things, and all it is for your water. I'm like, dude, give me that gauge. I'll look at the fucking little gauge spin around all day. Don't give me this fucking smart meter. So crazy. And then
it is
like it's weird though, people don't think about electricity affecting us, but it's like, how do you think your finger just moved or any one of the things just happened in your brain? It's like electricity. And and
electricity causes electromagnetic fields and shit, you know? So that right there,
like almost magic. Right there. But electric, like the way that we do it in the United States, apparently we ground mostly through the ground instead of sending it back to the power station like they do in Europe. And I think that we do that because it saves wires. You don't have to run as much wire. You don't need to have one going back and one going there.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And that way, though, you start charging the ground. And have you noticed like you don't see as much insects and shit like that recently?
Yeah, I could, yeah, sure.
Because when you charge the ground with the different electric frequencies, that's how like earthworms navigate and shit. So like if it has an inorganic charge to it, like they just won't even go there at all. They'll just completely avoid it. And it'll be an insect dead zone, at least underground it will be. And if so, there's no insects there, there won't be moles there, and there won't be anything naturally churning the dirt there and shit. So it becomes like desertified.
And so, what are they plugging? Like, what have they started putting into the ground?
Like instead of grounding like back by sending it back to the station or whatever, they just right into the ground. So it charges the ground in a lot of places. Well, I don't think it's here though, because I got plenty of fucking worms and shit in my dirt.
Yeah, maybe.
So I wonder if it's like different areas of the city have their structure done differently. But I have overhead power lines, which is apparently bad for depression and all these things. Because apparently before they electrified like New York and stuff.
Like mood changing and stuff like that.
Like having those it actually creates electromagnetic fields because you have these grids of wires above you, right? And like the charge going through them creates a little bit of electromagnetic grid, which fucks up our shit. But apparently we're not as in tune with it as we used to be.
I mean, using your microwave, if you're on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, because like you know how they have 2.4 gigahertz, and then they like 5 or 10 years ago they came out with 5 gigahertz. Yeah, which is like it is much better. But if you're using 2.4 and you use your microwave, it can fuck your Wi-Fi up.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like Yeah, like 100%.
Like just clash.
That's not even like conspiracy shit. Like it's just regular old science.
And they're like, dude, it's all contained in that box, dude. The microwaves aren't gonna fuck you up, dude. It's like, are you kidding me? I use my microwave as a stand, and I leave it unplugged. Like that's it. I don't use to cook nothing in that bitch.
Yeah, fuck Chef Mike.
Yeah, dude. Plus, electricity is the most expensive, dog. I was like, throw it in the dude. Fucking re-microwaving shit that you just bought, like that's fucked up, dog. That's unholy. That's satanic. That's he's Illuminati. He's just in a different branch, dude, or he's deep undercover as like the nicest dude.
yeah.
Like the downest homie too. Like shit.
Yeah. But an analogy. Well, I guess I have noticed that there's less insects.
Yeah.
When I do dig and stuff, and I totally believe you because of what the Navy and all the ships have done to the ocean.
Yeah.
With their sonar and just with their going.
No way. I was gonna go
whales.
There.
Like, and I've read accounts from Navy men who are like, dude, back in the day, like in World War II, there was fucking dolphins and whales flying everywhere, and he's like, now I don't see shit.
Dude, even the fish, like they used to make a joke, like when they first came to the East Coast from Europe, they were like, dude, there's so many cod that you could walk across them if you threw like fish, like bread out. Like it was just, the water was thick with life, right? And now cod is pretty much extinct in the Atlantic. Like I've heard that, it's like farmed mostly. It's like, dude, that's some shit. And it's like they always say, like, we have no effect on the climate. It's like, well, we have a huge effect on the biosphere. We completely ravaged it, like, with this amount of population, and we're growing extremely fast. So we're not getting less ravaging.
Yeah.
Like, before you could collect most of this shit within, like, a few acres of your backyard. It's like, try and collect some fucking animals here.
Yeah, well, and nobody's talking about, like, overpopulation actually is a fucking huge issue. Like, I'm not even in the Illuminati, and like,
but it's in a weird way. Like, I think if like we had if we had built towards a utopia where we, instead of like getting rid of all the electric trains, like used to be able to take an electric trolley from West Coast to East Coast without having to walk more than a few miles in between each trolley. Isn't that some shit? Like
in San Diego or
the whole country. We had so many electric trolleys across the whole country before we switched to gas. And you know why we switched to gas? Because the fools who owned the petroleum companies, they bought all the electric trains, right? And it's called, I think it's part of the Who Killed the Electric Car documentary.
Okay.
And so there's a giant graveyard in Las Vegas where they took all the electric train cars that we had from across the United States. There's only like 3 or 4 that survived, like that little goofy one in SF where it's like for tourists and shit. But those used to connect across the whole fucking country, and you could pretty much ride them for free almost.
And they just dismantled that shit. And said,
well, they purposely, like they were
on purpose, right?
Yeah, like they were. It's not like they weren't profitable and they got defeated by like buses, because there's no way a bus could defeat a fucking electric trolley car. As it's just way more energy efficient, and it's like you don't need. But the only thing the bus can do is go on like different routes. It's like, what does a bus do every day? Go on the same route. So it's like, why the fuck you get a taxi if you want to go on a different route? Like, and all buses do is add like smog and traffic to our streets, whereas a trolley doesn't even affect traffic. Like it has its own fucking rail.
Yeah.
And it's like you can have trolleys run through without making any smog and not very much noise.
Dude, the trolley's dope.
Yeah.
I can get from San Diego State to downtown in 15 to 16 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes tops.
Imagine being able to take that like to SF, and like even if it's it'd technically be faster than the train we have, because the train we have is fucking slow.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah. But isn't that some shit? Like everything about our infrastructure is completely controlled, though, because
totally.
They're like, well, we're gonna have a high-speed rail in California, and it's like, oh, okay, we were supposed to have that starting in like 2009. Now it's like 10 years later, and they're like, okay, we find out who's gonna make it. It's Dianne Fanside's husband. I'm like, okay, great.
That's not happening.
Great. Well, if it is happening, it's gonna be like, oh, we allocated $19 billion for the project. and it's actually going to cost us $58 billion because of unforeseen issues.
Because I had to kill a couple hookers.
And it's going to take us 3 times as long, and you're going to need to put us on a retainer for maintenance because we made it hella complicated, so only we can maintain it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. We use proprietary technology that only we know.
Yeah.
So you have to fucking hire us as a service company.
But in the third world country of Morocco, in the middle of the desert, they fucking were like, yo, we're going to build a high-speed rail. And 2 years later, from when they said it, it was done. And they're fucking, you can ride it right now. Like,
that's dope.
Isn't that some shit, dude? And it goes almost the same distance. It's like they turned a 5-hour, 6-hour drive into like a 30-minute or 45-minute train trip.
Yeah. And then you can be drunk. You don't have to worry about driving.
Yeah,
like,
you can
that's
work.
The fucking part.
Like, you can fucking work on your way home. You could do your homework on your way home.
Exactly. Yeah, true.
Like, you're more independent. I mean, cars are cool because you have the ability to just be like, yo, I'm going to go from here to New York. But you could have done that before on a fucking electric trolley network, but they fucked it over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, totally, dude.
And it's like crazy because they could have been charged too just by like solar net stations like in the middle of the fucking nowhere on the way there, or like wind stations on the way there, and like it could be a completely enclosed system.
Yeah. It's hilarious that the richest, wealthiest country in the world
Can't get a high-speed train. We don't have one.
Yeah, we can't get
California, the richest
basic
state,
shit.
Can't get it. Like, the richest fucking nowhere in our country we can't get it. It's so ridiculous. In Japan, they have mad levs.
Dude, Japan, because Japanese people are fucking just gangster.
Yeah, dude.
Shit, about their own shit.
But I wonder if that's like where they've optimized like fucking certain things. Like, they've gotten people to accept being a cog in the machine. They've gotten people to accept, like, if you're going to go on the highway, you're going to pay $50 toll, and you're not going to be allowed to drive in Tokyo with this plate on your license plate unless you pay extra.
Yeah.
And like, they're very subservient, and
very much so. Yeah.
Like, it's like, is that the model they want for the rest of the world?
Dude,
it's like their banking model, I think, is like, it's weird. They're like hyper, like, you know what we had going on before the 2008 crash. If you look at Japan, they have that going on. I think they have reverse inflation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They do.
So they're like paying you money to take a loan.
Right.
Which is like, how the fuck?
They did, at least for a little bit. I know they did. Yeah.
Like, they have an insanely crazy economy where they're testing out things that I think they're gonna try on like a bigger scale. Because otherwise, they're going to have to do what they had to do back in Mesopotamia. And you know what they did every 55 years in Mesopotamia?
What?
They had a debt holiday. So you know how they do that for like businesses? Or it's not they have like a tax holiday where like you can bring all your money back and not have to pay taxes. Or like you pay like 3% instead of 30%.
Okay.
So like they'll do that every like 10 years for businesses. So like if you've been hiding your money in like Monaco or in like El Salvador or something, they'll be like, all right, tax holiday, you can bring your shit back at 3% tax instead of 30%. So yeah,
damn. That's interesting. Fucking Mesopotamia, dude.
Yeah. And so they would forgive all your debts. So it's
that's the dope part.
Yeah, so you started a clean slate, and they never had inflation, so they didn't have like an inflation or a rate. So like your dollar would always be worth the same dollar. Or Mesopotamian like clay tablet or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Or like seashell or whatever.
Shekels.
Yeah. Which is tight because that makes there way less room for manipulation, because we have these artificial inflation rates that aren't realistic and don't, like, gas doesn't inflate at the same rate as something else, and technology actually deflates, like other things like that. Like I could get way doper microphones for cheaper than I could have 5 years ago, or like things like that. But if I want to get a gallon of gas 2 years ago, it was half the price, or like
I know, dude. It's like $4.20 right now.
Yeah, and they're like, the inflation rate is 2%, and I'm like, not for gas, like, motherfucker.
Yeah,
and that's like, what the fuck are you using to calculate this? Like, and not all of us are using the same resources, so what the fuck are you using to calculate? It's like, we gotta get rid of that whole concept.
yeah. I mean, dude, the Japanese people, like, as far as like, is that how they see like the world being like is like them? But like, they see they look at the Japanese are gonna rule the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there is no world where Africans and Chinese and Russians and Americans and Japanese all act like they're part of Japanese culture. Like the Japanese people don't want us in their culture.
Yeah.
Like if a Japanese woman has a kid with a white guy and then like raises that kid in Japan, people will like shame her for stepping outside of their race.
And you're saying we're almost like a Mustang that you can't break into being like that, you know?
Yeah. And but a lot of cultures are like that.
Yeah.
So it's unfair to make it seem like it's just the Japanese. And like, you know, even look at like
Chinese, very like at least in the factory mentality. It's like, dude, I'm gonna be here for 6 years and not go home and get paid like this low wage. I'm like, dude, how the fuck? And they're like, dude, this is normal. If I don't do this, I'm lazy. I'm like, what, dude? Chinese dudes are savage.
Yeah, no doubt. Like their whole they're interesting for sure. Like their whole fucking culture. And it's also interesting because like Iwu's family was from Taiwan.
Oh,
and they were a lot different. They were much more like American capitalist, talk about shit. I mean, obviously
more like about their rights though too, like or whatever. Like instead of being a cog in the machine, they're
none of them were cogs. Like,
they're like, no, I got my own little machine right here, like my own business, like
exactly, yeah. They just wanted to live like the life that we live out here, like the dream, the American dream.
Yeah, and they did it.
Normal people,
pretty much, yeah.
and they when I was young too, like when we were in elementary school, and I'd be like, back then, you know, I'd accidentally call him Chinese, and he'd be like, "No, we're Taiwanese." Like he made a point.
Yeah.
And, like we're not Chinese, dude. Don't call me that. And then, you know, eventually I got the point, and now I know. But
yeah. Damn. Yeah. It's like, I guess you don't really get that with Korean people. Don't ever really differentiate unless they're like joking. They'll be like, "So you're South Korean, right?" And they'll be like, "No, I just say I'm Korean, bro." And it's like people don't really mention that.
Right, yeah.
Even though it's technically two separate countries.
I've heard that Koreans are still very much like... I've heard that South Koreans are still very much like, we want to reunite. Because there's a lot of families that got split up. So there's still a lot of people alive who have other people alive, supposedly, or whatever.
Yeah.
In North Korea and South Korea who are like, we still believe in a one Korea.
Yeah.
Like, you know, fuck Kim Jong. Like, we're trying to get all these people back. And I've heard also that there's concerns that, like, as generations pass and a lot of these people die, they'll old ones, people will forget and they'll be like, you know what, fuck it, we don't want
long loss.
Why would we want a bunch of dumb, unhealthy, poor, uneducated people to join our society?
Especially if they automate everything.
You know?
It's they're all it's like you could have a bunch of hotel workers or something, but...
Yeah, that
or
the
like
strain...
an underclass that they could have but it's like in the future underclass will just be more costly than providing, because now it's like it's like cheaper to feed someone and have them produce for you than to not have it. So like human work is still really valuable, but in like a few years it might not be the case.
Yeah, and you know what? If North Korea collapsed and they got all that land back, they could totally.
Oh, like, yeah.
I could see them pulling shit off, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Asian people are clutch.
Yeah.
When they want to do something, they fucking do it 115%.
Yeah, man. That's true. That's like opening up all types of resources and shit.
If anyone's going to pull it off, it's going to be that.